You know, the truth is I had no intention of doing a sequel. I don't think anyone thought that there would be a sequel. This was never designed to be a franchise. And yet I think that the power of the world is the thing that makes it so possible to delve into it again. What I mean by that is I think most sequels have a hero or a villain, and you have to build the world around them. And we have the benefit of having the opposite be true. We have this world built and ready to play in, so you can drop whatever hero and villain you want into that world, and that's what's really exciting about it.
I just think for me, I found this one emotionally just a more intense experience because there isn't any respite from the agony of what they've gone through. There's not one moment where it's pleasant for them. It's just urgent, and it is like a runaway train, this film. If the first film was almost like, how do you avoid getting cut? I feel like the essence of this film is, oh my God, how do we stop the bleeding? You know, it just doesn't stop. And so I feel probably one of the most intense experiences I've had doing some of those scenes.
People who liked the first movie, and millions of people did, is the fact of just going like, okay, now we're giving you a glimpse at a bit more of this world. How it affected more people just outside of this sort of nuclear family, and we're just pulling back a little bit. And I think that's very, very exciting to glimpse. Because again, you start putting yourself into their shoes.
The metaphor of the first one was parenthood. If you extend that metaphor, could I play with that metaphor longer? And I think there's an evolution, an innate evolution in the metaphor that really became powerful in my mind. What I mean by that is, if the first one was about the promise you make as parents to your kids, that as long as you're with me, I can keep you safe and everything's gonna be fine. That's a promise that every parent makes to their child, and sadly has to be inevitably broken at some point in that relationship. And so I thought, when that promise is broken, that's growing up. And so when you let your kids go out into the world on their own, that's what growing up's all about. And so that's what the metaphor of the second one became, the idea of these kids and this family dealing with loss.
I've always loved working with writer-directors, first of all, because you know exactly, you can go straight to the source of where the story has come from, you know, and that's the case with John. And then you add on to that the fact that he's an actor as well, so he completely understands how actors work. His notes are amazing.
It's wonderful to work with an actor who is very much an actor and also who is a director, and the affinity. So his approach, obviously, is an approach of caring and, you know, of actors.
We definitely get to experience much more than we did in the first one, but my goal, again, in order to respect the audience, was I didn't want to just do a movie that was bigger and flashier. I wanted to do a movie that the story and the characters dictated everything. So when you leave the path, yes, we're going into the unknown, yes, we're leaving the farm, but we're leaving the farm because the family has to leave the farm. So we're expanding the world, but the intimacy comes from the rules are still the same.
That's the great challenge is once you step off the path, you know, what awaits you and how do you maintain those rules? The rules are the same, it's just that now the rules are highly challenged.
Now that we know that the audience is accepting of this world and accepting of these rules and loving the way the rules play out in the world, we basically answer the question that the audience asked of themselves, which is, what would you do? Because I think that the family in the first movie has a leg up on the rest of the audience because they can speak sign language, they have all these systems created, and now none of those things are gonna save them. So they become just like everyone else, which is every single step that they take is a potential tragedy. And I think that that's what's really exciting, is that in the first movie there was a system that would keep you safe. In this movie, nothing keeps you safe. So the second movie really is, the rules of the first movie without a safety net. Anything can be your demise.